starting with Club Brugge versus Monaco. And you're probably asking yourselves, why is this game on here? It's mostly so I can tell you guys Club Brugge is not the same Club Brugge they were last year. Decipher left, Jungala left, Tizolis left. There's a bunch of really good players here on Club Brugge that left. I was super high on Club Brugge last year. They even beat Atalanta in the knockouts, which I was standing on an island by myself taking. So I just have this on here to let you know this isn't the same Bruges as last year. They are still going to be hard to beat in Belgium. I like Bruges on the pick'em here. Give me the draw no bet at -110. I definitely see both teams to score, but at -195, that's super juiced. I don't even necessarily love it as a parlay piece. The over 2.5 is a much more tolerable number at -160. I do think Monaco gets in the back of the net here, and we get at least a 1-1 game. But that over 2.5 at -160 is where I'll probably go with this.
I was going to go the other way. I was going to say Monaco is a live dog in this one on the pick'em, but every time I want to believe in Monaco, they let me down. So I'll ride with you. I really, this is a total game where I would need to see both of these teams in action before I could give you any advice one way or the other. But if you strongly believe in either team, that Asian handicap is a good look either way.
So when I saw this matchup, my first thought was, "Ooh, is Pogba finally going to play again?" I was also going to go Monaco on the pick'em after seeing all the people that left Bruges. Probably end up not doing anything on this game to see if we're going to respect Bruges at home, because pretty much if they don't get at least a draw here, I don't respect them. So also would love to see Pogba. That's what I have to say about this game.
U.S. men's national team striker Florian Balogun for a goal is +180. For anybody out there who wants to support the U.S. men's national team but also can't stand U.S. men's national team Twitter, I want to keep seeing everybody do well for their club. I hope they do well for country, but I'm not going to get into a huge U.S. men's national team rant. I do believe in the individual players, though. I like Balogun for a goal. Like I said, like +130-ish. I think Takumi Minatono is a really good look here for Monaco for a shot on target, sitting at like -150 over on FanDuel. Shop that around. You probably find a little bit better of a number. And then Akaluce, the Turkish bull at +100, I think is a good number as well.
That's his shot on target?
Yeah, over on FanDuel. Shop around. You might be able to find a better number, but anything with a plus sign in it for the Turkish bull seems pretty good in my book.
I feel like he scored his last 2 games. Maybe they called him back.
All right, let's keep it moving over into Germany again, where we have Frankfurt hosting Galatasaray. Frankfurt looked pretty good over the weekend, but Galatasaray is your primary Turkish club. They went out, they spent all of the money. You got Victor Osimhen for a goal, sitting at +125. I really like if he gets some playing time for Frankfurt. Batshuayi, the Belgian winger, is a former Turkey player. I think he played for Fenerbahce, though, but if I see Batshuayi in the lineup, he'll probably do his best to get a goal against his former rivals in Galatasaray. Icardi coming off the bench, Champions League legend. Lot of good stuff here, and all very bettable numbers. Osimhen, like I said, for a goal at +130, super bettable here. Love the both teams to score, -230, super juiced. But I think Galatasaray stands a legitimate shot here. I like them on the Asian handicap. I'm not a big fan of half wins at the +0.25 for -105. I might try and move that up to +0.5 for like -130 on a double chance. I think Galatasaray is a very live underdog here at +225 as well on the money line. Their team total over 1.5 at +105 looks great too.
I'm not sure if Osimhen's fully fit also. He's one of those, he has discomfort, but that could have just been to skip the weekend game because he has Champions League. Icardi has 3 goals already in 4 matches on only 130 some minutes.
Yep.
And nobody said anything about Leroy Sané yet. Leroy Sané is back in Germany. He's playing down that right wing and respectfully can do whatever the fuck he wants at this Galatasaray team. So him to score or assist, I would shot ladder him. If he's not feeding Icardi like right at the penalty spot, then Icardi's probably not going to shoot. So I'm going to run it up with Leroy Sané.
I'm with both of you. I think this is a good spot to take an underdog. If you're going to take one, Asian handicap all day for me, over all day for me, team total, good shout. This is a team that's going to give Frankfurt some fits. And I, quite frankly, I don't think they're that good. And if this game was in Turkey, I would go even further all in.
Yeah, I'm really tempted on that Galatasaray money line, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, and as we saw last year, the fourth team that gets in, or any team from Germany that gets in that's not Dortmund and isn't Bayern, tends to struggle, not only in this competition, but in staying up. We saw Union Berlin in here last year. They were not a Champions League team. They didn't really deserve a Champions League spot. We give so many to Germany. They almost got relegated again last season. And that's, the last time Frankfurt went all the way to, what was it, the Europa League final? Mm-hmm. I think they finished bottom half of the table in Germany. So Frankfurt's going to have to make a decision here. Are they focused on staying up and staying competitive in Germany, or are they going to go all in on UCL and miss the knockout rounds? Because if I'm Frankfurt, I would focus my attention on Germany.
Nah, fuck it. How often are they going to be in Champions League? You might as well make a run at it, right? They can get back up to the top flight in Germany.
Get some money.
It seems like every couple of years. That's just kind of how, like I said, 2 years ago, they made the Europa League final, and then they were really bad and struggled to finish in the top half of the table. So that's just how it goes. Obviously there's financial constrictions with all these, I don't want to say smaller clubs, but that's what it comes down to. You don't have the revenue to go out and get a bench like Real Madrid or Liverpool. You don't have 250 million laying around for guys that are going to be your 13th through 20th player off the bench.
Hey, man, Frankfurt came into Spain and handled business. I forget what team they did that against, though. They knocked some big club out. I forget who it was. Some chumps that were playing in Europa League. I don't know.
All right, we'll keep it moving then. We're going right into Newcastle versus Barcelona. Speaking of chumps in Spain.
We're in England.
I would really like to get behind Newcastle here, and I'm sure Leg is going to give us a reason to get behind Newcastle here as a soft Newcastle fan. I fucking hate Barcelona, and I don't want to do it, but I'm going to take Barcelona on the money line, plus 125. That's a stupid number. I like Barcelona's team total over 1.5, minus 145. I want to say Newcastle gets us a goal because this Barcelona defense really isn't that good. And Levante scored 2 on them off the rip and went, but they obviously got some help there and ended up winning that game 3-2. So, I don't have any love for Newcastle here. It's not that I like Barcelona, but smart money's on Barcelona here.
Newcastle stink right now. They can't score goals. It took them one chance I think they had all game against Wolves this past weekend, the very worst team in the Premier League, just to get them kind of back on track. Barca scoring for fun right now. It just plus 125 is a number you do not see for this team. You have to take it. I can't even go or think any further than that.
All I know is that Nick Woltmade played 65 minutes in his first match for Newcastle and scored a goal. That's all I'm going to take away.
After he missed about 43 goals for Germany in the international break.
Yeah, and look how easy it is to do it in the EPL. I really don't have anything to back Newcastle here. I do think Newcastle can score a goal, though. As much as Nick just said they struggle, I think against a high line like what Barcelona is going to play, I think Anthony Gordon will catch them once or twice if he's going to be playing in this one. I think Harvey Barnes is going to be – there's going to be a lot of dangerous breaks, counterattacks. And if Woltmade can somehow hit a fucking rectangle, Newcastle will get us one because Barcelona is leaking right now. And they got no Lamine Yamal to just force feed crosses in there. Lewandowski is back, though. Rafinha is back. I think Rafinha is going to show everyone again why it's actually his team because that is their best player. The numbers we're getting on Rafinha is a little ridiculous to me. But no, taking Barcelona on a plus sign against Newcastle in the year 2025 of our Lord seems kind of stupid not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that Lewandowski hasn't been getting a ton of tick for Barcelona. He came on as a sub at halftime and bagged a goal in their win over the weekend. Lewandowski in the UCL has like something like 95 goals in like 115 appearances. I'm going to take Louis for a goal at plus 110. I think that's a pretty easy move there.
He's also still really good. I don't know if we all forgot about that.
Yeah, scored for Poland over the international break, scored over the weekend. Still really good at football. So Lewandowski in Champions League at a plus number is kind of a must take. Let's keep it moving. Our final match over in England, Man City versus Napoli. This Napoli team definitely looks good. I think they've made some nice improvements. I think Højlund is a good signing for them. I think he's going to do much better back over in Italy. I don't super rate this City team. They can score goals. They can score goals all day, but this defense is kind of ass. Both of their games that I've watched, they've looked really poor, especially in the first half. So I kind of like a first half goal here. I love the both teams to score at minus 135. I think the over 2.5 is really live here at minus 140. And Napoli on not even a double chance. You give me that plus 0.75 at minus 110, maybe even a plus one at like minus 130. I think Napoli's a really live underdog here.
I agree. It's one of those that doesn't match up. Like if you're plus 400 on the money line, you should, plus 0.75 at a negative number doesn't make sense to me. Like there's a little.
It's DraftKings. It's a 40 cent fucking spread.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to say if you can get that Asian handicap somewhere in plus money, you absolutely should. I think Napoli is not getting enough love from the books in this one. Not saying they're going to win the game. They could. They very well might. Like you said, City hasn't been good. It took a drubbing of Manchester United this week to get them back on track, where United's a complete dumpster fire, and United still had 3-4 really good chances to score in that game. So I'm with you on both teams to score. I think if you can get Napoli at plus one, maybe even plus 1.25, depending on how the line ends up or what book you're using, you have to kind of take it. He's made for these competitions. So you say what you want about him. He does show up in a Champions League, in a knockout type tournament. Napoli needs all the money they can get. They're going to come for points in this one. I don't see City blowing them out. So I wouldn't lay minus 150. I wouldn't lay a goal. I think Napoli are just too good for that.
It just feels like a really disrespectful number to Napoli. I do also believe Napoli, if you can get them on the spread, that's cool. I'm running with a double chance for sure. I low-key am looking at this money line. McSauce is home back in Manchester, so I'm going to take all my McSauce props. KDB's back, maybe a little shot on target outside the box to score assists. I don't know. Apparently, is he on their fucking penalties? Because that made me sick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's fucking lame. Outside of Erling Haaland, I don't know what to really expect from Manchester City. Rodri looks like absolute dog shit compared to his usual pedigree. Bernardo Silva's wearing the armband. If I'm Haaland or Rodri or even Ruben Diaz, I'm snatching that shit off his arm. Who the fuck are you, Bernardo? Didn't you try to leave like the last 4 years?
To be gone, yeah.
Dude, KDB plus 525.
What for? What, a goal?
For a goal? Yeah. Am I seeing that correctly?
Yeah. The score assist number probably looks fantastic.
Oh no, that's coming in right. I'm betting that right now as we're talking.
That's how I felt about betting the Marseille Madrid. Both teams to score no. While we just finished that one, I was immediately.
Yeah.
City sucks. That's all I'll say. Erling Haaland and friends is what I'm going to call this team until somebody else plays well.
City has definitely looked pretty ass. That said, outside of like Haaland and Foden, everybody's shot on target is pretty bettable here. McSauce is minus 145 on FanDuel. Dianni Rangers, which is a little revenge versus another Italian team now that he is over in England, minus 140. Højlund, the main striker here for Napoli, especially with Lukaku out, minus 135. KDB minus 105 just for a shot on target. Like, there's a lot of advantage to be taken here from a Napoli team. I expect to be extremely competitive. And like I said, City's defense hasn't impressed. It's not like they're not out here holding fucking zeros except for against United. But I mean, I don't know. We could probably go get 9 kids from the park down the street and we could hold United to zeros. So yeah, there's a lot of really good numbers on the player props here. I will mention once again that I did with Leg on Wednesday when we were talking Italian football, and Guisu's been shooting a lot more for this Napoli team, which is something the sportsbooks really haven't caught up to yet. And then Guisu's low-key, like, he's been nasty with the assists, too. Yeah. He's been putting in some really good through balls.
He's everywhere, man.
And even if he's not everywhere. The guy who's getting credit for the assist, he's making the pass that, like, makes the pass, you know? He's making that hockey assist. So I would just keep an eye on Guisa props. For those of you who like a long shot sprinkle, his assist is going to be like 9, 10, 12 to 1, something like that. So might be worth a cup of coffee there. All right, that's going to do it for us. That is 3 days of Champions League action. We obviously did not get to every game. I will be doing live shows for the 3 in the afternoon games on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Both of you guys are obviously welcome to join, just depending on your schedules. So feel free to let me know. I am your host, Burroke77, joined by Young Leg to my right and Nick Dianni all the way to the right. Be sure to check us out doing our different podcasts, our different shows on YouTube. Leg and I do one every Wednesday night at 7:30 called 2FootTalk. You can find the link for that down below in the description, as well as Nick, his boy Scotty, and Coach. They tend to start, right around like 8:30 on Wednesday,
8:30,
right?
8:45, yeah.
So right after 2FootTalk, you can go jump over and watch the Kicks and Picks pod with Nick Dianni. All the links for that are going to be posted right down here below in the video description as well. Best of luck to you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we look forward to seeing you at the window. Oaks out. Doses. We outside.